Hello everyone, welcome to Rockstar Gaming. My name is Eric. Over the last 2 weeks, CMON has posted a few minor updates for DC Superheroes United, as well as the second dev diary, going over new mechanics for the game and how some of the new villains and heroes are going to work, as well as a few extra things. So I figured we're going to go ahead and take a look at what has been announced, and let's just dive right back into it. All right, so as always, we do take a look here at the front page of the Gamefound campaign for the game. They've come out with a few minor updates, as I said in the intro, announcing some of the new villains that are going to be in the game, as well as the last hero that's going to be in the game. They've shown off the new box art for the core set, as well as come out with the new dev diary. The dev diary is usually when I would post a video on this, and that came out yesterday. However, behind the scenes, I have been without internet for 3 days, so was not going to be able to post anything there. So, but that finally got fixed. Technician finally came out today, so we are going into that right now. So, first thing we're going to look at right here was update number 5. Brace yourselves for the Primal Fury Unleashed. I did make my little jokes as to what this character could have been because CMON showed off like the silhouette of the figures and whatnot. It's usually what they like to do up to when the game is released. So, but this was the new figure. It is, of course, the cheetah. Revealing the cheetah, the apex predator is ready to sink her claws into her prey in DC Superheroes United. So that is what we have right there. So cheetah was the 4th villain that we have announced. So we officially now in the core box have 4 villains: Joker, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, and now the cheetah. So that was update number 5, which came out on May 31st. And so the next thing that was revealed apparently on June 4th was Cyborg. Cyborg is going to round out the last spot on the superhero side of things. I'm a little torn on this. I'm still like old school with Cyborg being part of the Teen Titans and all that stuff, especially from like the TV show and the comics and everything like that. So it's still weird for me, even though it's been canon for 13 years. Good Lord. It's still weird to me to see Cyborg as a member of the Justice League. So there is that. But yeah, Cyborg is going to be in the game. We knew he was going to be in the game. You can throw him in with the Justice League. More than likely, there's going to be enough Teen Titans characters throughout this campaign that you can have him with his old buddies over there. So, but it's going to be pretty cool to have him in the game. The next update after that they showed was of the new box art, which I know a lot of people have been kind of lukewarm to in some cases. Some people really like the design of the box. Some people don't like the way some things were placed. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at that right now. But there is the box art reveal for the game. This is what the, as you can see right here, core box. And I do find it funny. I don't think any of the other Marvel games said that. The other Marvel United games said that. But this one definitely states that this is going to be the core box. Not much is really written on here. It says, behold the full cover art of DC Superheroes United, where legends rise and battles ignite. Drumroll, please. Are you ready to embark on an epic journey through the DC universe? And a whole plethora of hashtags down there. The box itself, from a design standpoint, I really like. I like the fact that they're not trying to cram all the heroes into either the square from Marvel United 1 or the circle. Yeah, the circle from all the other Marvel United, the way they designed the box design has been since Marvel United X-Men. I think it's a circle. Pretty sure it's a circle. I like the fact that, yeah, you have the city right down here. Just the way this box is designed, laid out, and everything like that, I really like it from a design standpoint. The thing that I find odd, and a lot of people have been pointing out, is just how large, and I understand the draw, but how large Batman is compared to every other character. I mean, the fact that you could have technically called this Batman United or whatever, like, it's almost kind of what it looks like. Even the fact that Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman are so small, even Superman is so small on the cover. I would have rather seen Batman a little smaller and at least Superman and Wonder Woman a little bit bigger. We don't even have, I mean, technically, this bat right here has more box presence than the other three characters in the back. We've got these random Lex Luthor kryptonites back here, but we don't have Luthor on the cover and we don't have Cheetah on the cover for whatever reason. I don't know if they're going to get added in later, if this was just a first draft. I do know, and I cannot remember his name. Um, it may be Edward Guten down there. It says on there. But I do know that the designer has a little bit of a breakdown of the way that they design this box on their Instagram. So there is that if you want to check that out. I am curious as to what the top and the bottom of the box looks like, since the side definitely has, Darkseid and Batman there. I wonder if Luthor or Cheetah are going to be on the other two sides. Who knows? But overall, like I said, from a design standpoint, I really do like the box. I do find it funny just how the layout, as far as like how large or small the other heroes are, and the fact that we're missing two of the villains just seems a little strange to me. The fact that we do have these Luthor emblemed kryptonite shards is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's like a gameplay thing or not. Especially because I was talking to somebody in my own comments on one of the last videos, and we were even talking about like how would they put in weaknesses, how would they put in like kryptonite and stuff like that into the box. Would that be something that Luthor would have, or because of the fact that you could completely have a united game without Luthor, or I'm sorry, without Superman or super character, that would make those cards in Luthor's deck meaningless. And the fact that a weakness would have to be part of Superman, it would just be kind of interesting to see how these little kryptonite shards get used in the game. So there is that right there. So those are all the minor updates that happen between, it says the 31st, but I want to say that may have been actually the first. I'm not sure, but between the 1st and the 7th for the game right there. The last update we're going to go over today, which was update number 8, was DC Superheroes United introducing the game Part 2. So this is a rundown of the other two villains in the game, so Darkseid and Cheetah, as well as going over some other stuff in the game, some of the other heroes, and even some of the locations in the game. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this one and see what we have. So it is going to be written by Andrea Cervisio, the lead designer of DC Superheroes United. So let's see, it's Andrea again with the second installment of the core box design insight. Let's have a look at the last villains and heroes that were revealed as being in the core set, shall we? So we got Darkseid right here. I'm only going to go right down to there. We do see right here, we do see the full, because I think the bottom of it was blocked by the earlier update, or the way it was laid out, but we do have the full figure here for Darkseid. We can see the base fully on this one. Looks pretty cool. I do like how it looks. Darkseid does have a couple of different cards right here. Says, let's see, Darkseid, Dark God Power, deal 1 damage to each hero in Darkseid in both adjacent locations. So he is just going to be ripping things up all over the place. This card right here, which we can't necessarily read, does have 2 different effects, as we've already seen from other cards and the way things are explained. That he does have whatever the card normally would say, but then we do have the under pressure version of the card, whether or not that's an instead or an inclusion. We won't know that until we can actually see the card, either during the campaign if they show it off, or more than likely in 2026 when this more than likely hits our doors, which that's weird. That's weird to think that 2024 is already halfway over almost. Anyway, so let's go ahead and read here. I'll bring the big boy up first. Darkseid, the ruler of Apocalypse and one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He'll be looking to gain control over the anti-life equation. Darkseid is so powerful that we thought that breaking the regular scheme of villain fighting would have been the right thing to do. He doesn't need henchmen or even threats. His, quote, threats are replaced by 5 fragments of the anti-life equation, and he'll be on the hunt to collect them all, thus winning the game. Now, this right here, I'm assuming for gameplay purposes and whatnot, This card right here still does mention a threat, and I believe this one does too, but it says move clockwise to the next location with a threat. So we are still using threat cards in a way. So we're not totally getting rid of them, but the text in here as far as the breakdown kind of still mentions that he does have threats. So his threats are replacing the 5 fragments in any location. He'll be on the hunt to collect them all this way. Okay, I already read that. So that's gonna be kind of cool. Normally, though, there are 6 threat cards in a villain deck, so I don't know what the 5th card is going to be unless that's the threat that they're talking about. Like he's basically just gonna move to wherever that the actual threat card itself is. The threat card. That was gonna be a stupid sentence. But he is going to have the 5 different fragments of the anti-life equation. Of course, in the meantime, he's going to deal massive damage to heroes through his powers, notably his Omega Sanction. This is a link that goes to the DC database, kind of explaining what the Omega Sanction is as far as the comic books go. Heroes must try to stop him from collecting pieces of the equation while still performing other missions to finally be able to damage him, and Darkseid won't be an easy opponent to take down. I believe the fight against Darkseid represents an innovative and challenging playing pattern that will delight United aficionados and entertain new players new to the system, making him a real menace even when confronted by powerful heroes like Superman. So they are basically just making him as beefy as possible, which is kind of interesting that he's not being used as a stretch goal, that he's not being put into his own expansion box, even not even like a Kickstarter exclusive box, but like a retail exclusive box. Or anything like that. So it's pretty cool that they're definitely making, and we'll see a little bit with another character here in a minute, that they're definitely making Darkseid like hard mode, or they're wanting at least Darkseid to be hard mode for this game. Like, in other Marvel United games, you can definitely tell who the like easier opponent is going to be to fight against. And you can kind of definitely tell who the harder opponents in the core boxes are going to be. They have basically spelled it out in this dev diary here, who is going to be the easy mode or the introductory villain, and who is definitely going to be the one that is going to give us the biggest run for our money here. But it says he's going to be looking for the pieces of the anti-life equation. So I don't know if there's going to be a new different token that is going to go on the threat cards that he's going to be gathering. If there's going to be some other mission that he's going to be collecting for or anything like that. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how that goes. I cannot wait to see that. Hopefully during the campaign they show it. I'm hopefully at some point, because I know they're probably going to get with whoever it's going to be shown off online, people doing different gameplays and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that is going to look. Next character we have here is Cheetah. That is going to be her full figure right there. We've seen the figure right here, but this one, just because of the way, for me at least, the fact that the background's gone, it's just white behind her and everything like that, it's a little bit easier. And I think this picture is actually a little bit larger. It's easier to see what she looks like here. So we do have a couple of cards right here, like this one right here. Move clockwise to the next location with any heroes. Instead, move clockwise to the next location with no heroes. So that's going to be an example right there of when Cheetah's under pressure, her card does a little bit different. So in this case, it's not even that fact that it's the card effect that is different, it's that the movement is different. So again, I believe, like they said in the first dev diary, they are working on changing up basically even in the middle of the game how not only the attacks work, but how movement also works. I kind of wonder if there's going to be a card that shows that, like, instead of putting on civilians, you're going to be putting on villains instead when they're under pressure. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how all that's going to shape up or shake out once we get going here. Then we have our last but not least villain in the core set, the Cheetah, classic enemy of Wonder Woman. She's probably the villain with the most linear game plan. So I would suggest players new to United to face her as the first villain. So she's basically going to be the introductory or easy mode villain to fight. Again, Darkseid's going to be the hard mode villain, but this doesn't mean she'll go down that easily at all. The Cheetah is a quintessential evasive villain and might end up fulfilling her master plan before heroes even have the chance to hit her with a serious punch or two. Let me provide you with a useful hint. Wonder Woman is likely the perfect hero to face her, but if you want to have a real edge, bring along someone who can be faster than a cheetah in the fight. So they're basically suggesting here to take the Flash with you. Make sure Wonder Woman's on there as well. So we've got that. Now for the okay, we're not going to go to the heroes yet. We're going to go back here. So that's how Cheetah's going to be playing right here. Again, most linear and basically moving around. So she's going to have, I would say, a lot of high movement, but even right here, we just have a 0. So we have move clockwise location with any hero. So even if a hero is like on the complete opposite side of the board, it's gonna she can get over them to them pretty quick, and then she's just gonna bam on them. And then this one, move clockwise to the next location with the hero with the least cards in hand. So basically, she's gonna pray after whoever's the weakest right here, and then assuming that says bloodthirsty something next villain turn by 1. So it's probably increasing it. So if she's um, not under pressure, instead of 3 card after the third card, she's going to be under after the second card. And if she is under pressure, instead of going after the second hero card, she's going to go after the next hero card. So that'll be pretty cool. The fact that she's basically going to be going a lot faster more than likely makes me think that her whole villainous plot is just going to be to run through her deck. So we'll see how that goes right there. But that is going to be it for Cheetah on here, and that's going to be the last we see of our villains. Although besides the hint that we got at the end of the last dev diary, we don't see anything for the Joker yet. They mentioned a little bit of that, and they mentioned a little bit of like the shell game or whatever with him. So I don't know if that was a little bit of misdirection. It'll probably be in the third dev diary. We'll see. But now we're going to go ahead and get into heroes. Now for the heroes, I'll start with Cyborg, aka Vic Stone. Players might be surprised by his apparent lack of equipment. The reason being that Sib is his own equipment. A well-rounded and flexible hero, Victor can provide mobility through his boom tubes, firepower with the Mechano arsenal, and perform incredibly powerful and flexible turns when activating his cybernetic enhancements. Cyborg will prove a solid addition to any lineup of heroes, bringing both flexibility and a number of actions to the team. So we don't have much except for his cybernetic enhancements card right here, and we don't know what that is yet, and I cannot remember what my own theory on what the yellow cards do is. So there is that right there. Not a lot of, says both flexibility and the number of actions to the team. He's only got a movement here, a punch here, and then the way these cards laid out, 1 token right here. So we'll see what that actually happens with that. But yeah, I do find it funny that they're not going to give him any equipment. But I guess depending on how many of those special cards go in there, because traditionally it's 4 cards that go into a deck that have the special abilities or anything like that. So, but there are some cards, the ones that I think of off the top of my head are Groot and a Black Cat, I believe, that have more than the 3 or 4 traditional superpower cards or whatever they're called. It's late. So that might be what's going on with Cyborg here. He might have like 2 copies of each one, or maybe bringing him to 6. I don't know. He may just have the normal 4 that has been standard since Marvel United X-Men. So we'll kind of see how that goes with him. Next is Aquaman, the ruler of the sea. He not only has one of the most powerful and flexible pieces of equipment in the whole game, more than likely it's Trident. Trident of Poseidon. I don't know why I just didn't finish the sentence. That can be used to heal himself, damage his foes, or rescue a civilian in danger almost anywhere. This equipment proved to be so good that we had to increase its recharge cost during development, not only once but twice. So it is going to be a rechargeable device, but it's going to be a pain to get it recharged. So he's going to be able to heal him. He's going to be able to damage foes and rescue civilians in danger from anywhere. So I guess we're using it as a harpoon. I guess that's what that means. Aquaman's real power comes from the flexibility and reach granted by his Atlantean physiology and life force connection, not to mention the possibility to summon a tidal wave once per game. Apparently, we're not talking to fish, so which is still technically his powers, but I'm pretty sure they've been making him a lot more grittier over the last, I mean, ever since he had the hook hand, I'm assuming. If you need a hero able to recover quickly from damage while providing balance to your team, you'll hardly find a better fit for the role than the King of Atlantis. That's pretty cool. I like the base on here, as I've already mentioned on there, the fact that it's like that clear plastic for the water and everything. And he looks like he's going to be a pretty versatile character. I don't know how well he's going to do for like a new player, especially if he's got that many things as far as powers and stuff like that he's going to be able to do. It might be a little bit too much for a new player, might be more of a character for like a seasoned player, but we'll see how that works out. So regardless, pretty cool Aquaman. Aquaman, I don't know why I keep saying it like that. Aquaman in the game, that's gonna be pretty awesome. And I think it says, nope, doesn't say anything about that, but like I said, Aquaman is going to be the final character. They're rounding out, technically Cyborg was, but it's gonna be the final character rounding out the Justice League members in the core box. So next, they've got a bunch of stuff here on locations. We are going to have the Hall of Doom. I'm not going to necessarily read through all these a little bit, but it's going to be the Hall of Doom and Apocalypse. Apocalypse is definitely going to have a bad effect here. Heroes entering this location must either discard one action token or discard one card to the bottom of the deck. So basically, you're just going to lose a card completely, have less of a deck to use. This location, it's one of the things they talk about in here, is that they have a couple locations that are specific to that are tied to specific villains. That's what I meant to say. You can still use them, but they're going to have a greater effect. Like Apocalypse is going to work better for Darkseid, and I would assume for Luther that the Hall of Doom is going to be his thing, seeing as how he's got that kind of like Legion of Doom thing going on with having like Joker as his one of his henchmen and everything. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works out. And then down here, they've got stuff with a little bit better, because of the fact that these are so punishing to the player. They decided to make some, what does it say? Even in some of these Gotham City and Central City that have double-edged side effects, everyone, let's see. So we wanted the other locations to have helpful in-turn effects, even if some of these have double-edged effects. So we've got end of turn for Gotham City. You may gain one punch token, but any henchman entering play in this location has one extra health, may go above starting value. So yeah, there's going to be negatives and there's going to be positives. Atlantis, end of turn, if this location has any empty thug or civilian slots, you may fill it with one crisis token to gain one wild token. So that's going to be pretty cool, except for, again, that's going to be kind of like that double-edged sword kind of a thing where, yeah, you get a wild token if you throw a crisis token in there, but then you also need to have abilities that remove those wild tokens, or else you're just going to be in a world of hurt if Atlantis overflows. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Don't really have any idea what Central City does. Let's see. And Central City can be crowded to easily overflow. So it just says you may gain right here during setup if this blank location add one extra blank hero starting look. Yeah, so I have no idea what Central City does, but it's apparently going to be quicker to overflow it. Although I feel like Atlantis is going to be quicker to overflow. Let's see, where you might choose to speed up evacuating the underwater city, thus gaining a precious wild token, but again, at the risk of causing overflow to hit the hero. Okay, so yeah, that is what those locations right there do. So that is pretty cool that they're kind of changing things up, giving these like secondary effects to the game that are not necessarily in a lot of the Marvel United, or if any, locations there, while respecting the overall need for token gaining effects. But expert players might notice the absence of movement enhancing location, given the excellent mobility ratio of heroes in the set, Flash being able to run quick and all that. We did our best in creating location effects that both are thematically connected and provide interesting variations and sometimes extra challenges to gameplay. So they said they can't wait to hear what we think about DC Superheroes core set in the comments, and I'll leave you asking what's next in the master plan. And so I know they say that in all of the different updates, but one of the things I do want to point out is right here where it does say what's next in the master capital plan. And all the other updates, like right here with the cheetah, what's next in the master plan, it's right there with cyborg, what's next in the master plan. Over here they didn't put it in here whatsoever on this one, but over here they did put what's next in the master plan, and it's all lowercase, whereas over here on the update number 8, what's next in the master plan is uppercase. So I don't know what that means. I know a lot of people in the comments from this page, a couple of people are thinking that that's like the announcement of their next United game, potentially, possibly doing like Masters of the Universe United or anything like that. I don't think that is what it is at all. I don't think they would be doing that here. I think they would be doing that in like at the end of the campaign, kind of like they were doing with Marvel United 1, where they made the X over here capital to try to, shadow announce that, or stealth announce that we were getting Marvel United X-Men next. So there is that. So, and the fact that they're pointing it out right here with I'll leave you asking what's next in the Master Planet. I think this is more, although I don't know what master could mean in DC Comics. I even tried doing just a regular search for the word master associated with DC Comics. I don't know what that could be. I'm thinking this is going to be more foreshadowing what the next expansion is going to be for the game. So I don't think it's going to be anything Masters Universe related, anything like that. In my mind, I sat there and like, oh, the Masters is evil. No, that's Marvel. That can't be. That can't be that at all. That was the only thing I could think of in like a split second. But yeah, I kind of wonder what this is going to be. I think this is going to be more alluding to whatever is going to be in the expansion that we're inevitably going to get when the campaign launches. More than likely, unless costs have jumped up considerably, the initial campaign pledge is going to be around $65. I'm pretty sure that's what all the other ones were. And then you're going to have your around $100 pledge level for the game with the first expansion. First expansion more than likely is going to probably be whatever this master thing right here is. And I don't know what that's going to be yet. I do have some speculations that I am probably going to work on filming a video for toward the end of the month. I do want to put that out there before July. I don't think they've announced when this game is launching yet. They just keep saying July. I don't think there's an actual definitive date yet. I don't remember seeing one. Let's go up here. Was there one? Nope. It just says, go back. It says July 2024. So we don't even know when exactly this is coming out yet. So, which is fine by me. So, but we'll see what happens with the next expansion. Hopefully soon. Hopefully in the next week or so. So yeah, there is that. So let me know down below what you guys are thinking about this game so far. What do you think about the box? I know from reading through the Facebook groups that not a lot of people really care for the box design. That is okay. What do you think about the new mechanics for like Darkseid and Cheetah and all the heroes, all that stuff? And what do you think the significance of Master is in the context of DC Superheroes United? I don't think it's advertising something outside of DC Superheroes United. I really do think it is advertising for something in the game itself. Especially with we haven't even launched this game yet. I don't think they'd be stealth announcing another game in the series this early. So but yeah, that is all of my thoughts and everything on DC Superheroes United up to update number 8 on Gamefound. If you guys have been enjoying this series and you want to see more of it, go ahead and make sure to hit that notification bell to know when we're going to be putting out more of these videos. Again, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of coverage on it, looking at the Kickstarter updates and everything once the campaign actually does launch. Make sure to comment on all the things I asked you to comment on, and also most importantly, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Would help us out here immensely. With that said, I have been Eric. This has been Rockshire Gaming. This has been DC Superheroes United Gamefound coverage, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.